Hi everyone, this is Tammy from the Unipro Consulting Limited. Today I'm with Ray, the founder of Unipro Consulting Limited Hong Kong. Hi Ray.
Hi, hi, Tammy. What are we going to talk about today?
Yes, Ray, in connection with our previous podcast about selling online or starting your own e-commerce business, we're here with a special guest who owns a successful online business where he sells his products on a different platforms globally. Ray, and to our listeners, I would like to introduce to you our special guest for this episode, Cameron Walker, an online e-commerce seller.
Hey
Hi,
guys, it's
Cameron.
awesome
How's it
to,
going?
yeah. Hey Ray, hey Tammy, it's awesome to be with you guys today. Looking forward to sharing what we've done.
Great. Maybe Cameron, first of all, would you like to tell us a little bit about your business? How long have you been in the industry, and what kind of products you are selling?
Yeah, so our business, we founded the business in 2016. So I guess that's been about 4 years now. I've become more deeply involved in the last year since I've left my full-time job. It's a family business, so I'm in Shenzhen. I've lived in China for a lot of years, like 15 years or something like that. So I run the business with my wife, who is Chinese, her brother, and then my brother-in-law overseas as well, who lives in Canada. So it's a family business. It's a global business. We sell mostly toys, games, and arts and crafts online around the world. So we've got multiple marketplaces, mainly the US, but also the EU, the UK, Germany, Spain, Italy, France. We're dabbling in Japan a little bit. We sell in Canada as well, which is where I'm from. And we're always looking for opportunities to expand marketplaces, to sell. Right now, we sell mainly in Amazon, but we're also looking to expand to other marketplaces and then other countries as well. So we're a growing business. It's been 4 years so far. We're working on scaling it. So far, so good. Lots of challenges, lots of opportunities.
Okay, sounds cool.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, maybe you can tell us a little bit about your story. Like, why did you start this online business?
So, I mean, basically, my wife has a pretty deep experience in contract manufacturing. So she was doing one-off sourcing projects for pretty big corporations in the U.S. Some of these were, $500,000 projects, $1 million projects, really quite complex retail displays. So when you go into, some of these maybe car dealerships or that kind of thing in overseas, you'll see pretty complicated retail displays that are really customized. She was basically manufacturing those. So she had that level of experience. I was working in B2B sourcing media. So I was working in one of the big trade show organizers. And we were getting, more and more people who were online sellers that were coming to our trade shows and using our online sourcing platform as well. So we could see kind of the way the wind was blowing. There was, big opportunities with online selling. So 4 years ago, my wife basically took that sourcing experience and partnered with my brother-in-law in Canada, and they decided to kind of pair the manufacturing and sourcing side with the marketing, overseas, Canadian English native language ability, and start the company. They did, they did quite well the last couple of years. I left my full-time job about a year ago, and now I'm kind of the one who is kind of responsible for really scaling things up. So that's kind of where we are right now.
That's great.
Fantastic. And I'm curious, do you have a physical store at the same time you sell online? Do you have a physical store actually?
No, we're all online. So we're all selling. I mean, right now, to be honest, we're pretty much almost all on Amazon. We're also selling on Shopify. We do not have any retail stores right now. We're looking. We're basically this year, one of our kind of strategies is to become retail ready. So we want to be able to get into retailers when we have the capacity. Like right now, to be honest, we don't really have the manufacturing capacity. We're selling everything that we're making. But once we have a little bit more capacity, we want to be retail ready. So if somebody comes knocking at our door, we can get into some of the offline channels as well. Obviously, not being being completely online has been quite helpful the last 3 or 4 months because the retail has been tricky.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about the advantages and disadvantages to sell online?
Well, there's definitely advantages and disadvantages for sure. Um, we're relying on a single channel, which is quite dangerous and quite risky. If that one channel goes down, we have a lot invested in inventory, so that's a little bit dangerous. We also there's certain things when you sell online we need to be very, very careful with package dimensions and also package weight. So like everything that we make, we have to weigh it very carefully because our costs might double if something if the weight goes up by 2 or 3 or 4 grams per package. So those are kind of things that you wouldn't have if you were offline. But we also have, we have certain controls that we wouldn't have if we were doing it offline. There's pros and cons to every business model. We've developed our business from scratch to be selling online. So, it is what it is. Things are going pretty well so far.
Oh, I see, I see. Can you also share with us, or what's the highest sales figure in a month you made so far?
Well, we're a
By
toy
mm,
company, toys and arts and crafts. So we're obviously a Christmas centric company. So I'll put it this way. I mean, when in the Christmas season, we'll do well into the seven figures US dollars a month.
oh, that's great. Okay.
Oh,
Um, who are your customers, or how did you come up with your target market?
We were looking, I mean, this is also what I suggest to other entrepreneurs who are looking to get into online business. We were basically looking for a business model or a product niche that played to our advantages. So our advantages at the time when we started were sourcing. We also had a warehouse operation already in place in China because of the previous contract manufacturing business. So we were able to bundle very easily. We're able to assemble products. We're able to QC, do quality control of our own products a lot better than most other sellers who are overseas or even sellers who are in China. So we wanted to do products that played to that advantage. So what we did was we started buying basically wholesale components of certain products and then assembling those products ourselves. So what we could do was we could really, really control the cost and control the quality. So that's kind of been our kind of secret sauce. And when people ask frequently, can you start an online business now? What advice would you give? Like that kind of thing. My
Mhm.
advice is always play to your strengths. So you have to have an angle. If your angle is to copy everybody else, honestly, there's not much there. But if you have experience, whether it be in digital marketing, affiliate marketing, or sourcing, or regardless of what it is, content writing, etc. How can you have a business model, have a niche that plays to those strengths? And that's what we did, somewhat accidentally, somewhat strategically, which is the way that most things work out.
Mhm.
But that's what we did, and that's what worked for us.
Oh, okay, great. Since the market is so huge right now, um, so I think a lot of people or some entrepreneurs are really copying the idea of some people. Can you like give a tips on how do they come up with a unique business strategies or business unique target market?
Well, I think that everyone has to do it differently. It's pretty much what I said. What I would do if I was starting again from scratch, I would deeply, deeply look at what my strengths are.
Okay.
Um, what experience do I have? What can I do better than other people?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you're in China, obviously you're probably closer to the factories, so there's some sort of sourcing advantage there. If you used to work in tech, then you probably have, maybe you have some SEO, some digital marketing background. Maybe you have friends who have that kind of a background that you can partner with.
Mm-hmm.
I believe pretty strongly that like the days when you can kind of come in with zero kind of applicable skills and just copy you know, carbon copy a business model it's pretty tough going. Unless you've got a lot of money and you know, a lot of money to invest and you're very good at hiring and finding people. But that in and of itself is a skill. So what I would say is, look at what your strengths are, and start there and take advantage of those strengths and look for where you can leverage better than other people.
Great, great. That's thank you for sharing that. So, how did you what are the procedures to open a shop online? Like, do they need to register a business? Do they need their own branding? How does how does it work to have an e-commerce business?
Well, I mean, it keeps changing, and they keep changing the requirements. Like for Amazon, for instance, they keep changing the requirements. So when we signed up a couple of years ago, it was fairly straightforward. You definitely need a business. Our business is incorporated in Hong Kong, but it doesn't really matter. You can incorporate a business anywhere for Amazon, and then I mean, you need verification documents. So you need. They always ask for utility bill and passport and the beneficial owners of the company. It's pretty straightforward. It does take a while, and they're a huge company, so there's lots of frustrations involved. Sometimes they reject lots of documents and for no good reason. It's like sometimes you really want to slam your head against the wall just because it's so frustrating. But once you get through, it's fine. Um, we do have our own brand. You don't have to, I guess, but the reality is you'd be kind of stupid not to. So yes, we have our own brand. We have quite a bit of IP. So we have, I don't know, 3 or 4 trademarks in the U.S. We have 2 or 3 trademarks in the EU. We trademark everything in China. We're working on our first set of patents. So as you grow, yeah, there's more and more kind of things you should do. But the basic structure is register a company and sign up with marketplaces or even start Shopify by yourself.
Okay, okay. Thank you for that. Can you share some tips to our future entrepreneurs out there? Like for those who wants to start their own e-commerce business, what can you tell them?
Well, I would say what I've already said, plus just start. You like just start. You'll learn as you go. Um, there's more than enough information right now on like between YouTube and podcasts and whatnot. Like there's too much information, if anything. So I mean I'm a pretty strong believer that you don't really need to spend a ton of money on courses. We didn't spend a penny on courses. You can learn just on YouTube and on podcasts and stuff like that. And the best way to do things is just to jump into the deep end and kind of see what happens. And you learn as you go.
Thank you so much, Cameron, for that information and for the tips. I hope we have inspired our listeners to your stories and to your business. Also, for thank you for sharing some tips to entrepreneurs who just want to build their own e-commerce business. Um, If you have any questions regarding our company incorporation, registering your trademark, logo, or branding, you may visit our website at www.uniprohk.com or email us at info@uniprohk.com. Thank you so much, Cameron, for your tips and for sharing your inspiring stories.
Yeah,
Thank you,
awesome to talk
Cameron.
to you guys. Thank you.
Have a
Excellent.
great day.
Have a great day. See you, Cameron.
Thank you. Okay, thanks.
Bye bye.